Hello, everyone. You're watching Pitch Battle. I'm your host, Indraneel Basu. India Pakistan. I mean, it can't get better and bigger than that. We're seeing the pitch battle means there's been a lot of talk about the pitch, how the pitch is going to be. What we saw yesterday, Ireland versus Canada, the pitch was marginally better because they used heavy roller and things like that, but still not there. You're not seeing those at par score like we saw in IPL 180 plus. How it's going to pan out. I mean, we are all tensed about the match. Just imagine if India would lose the toss and Pakistan would send us to bat first. Uh, will it be a nightmarish start to a great campaign, which India, of course, started on a high by winning the first game against Ireland? How it's going to be? We are joined by Avinash, of course, the editor of My Khel. We have Shakya Mitra, sports marketing uh, expert. We have Sharadeep Ash, who's also a cricket journalist with My Khel. Gentlemen, welcome to the show. I wanted to get a hang
Welcome.
of it, how things would move forward. If I can start with Avinash. Avinash, if God forbids we lose the toss, what happens?
Then Dada, the onus will be on the likes of Rishabh Pant, Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, Surya Kumar Yadav to just prove that they are the best batters in the world, and best batter should not be afraid with the kind of surface that is going to be there in front of them, and also the opposition. Yes, Pakistan has a brilliant bowling attack, but we saw the other day what the US, the inexperienced or so-called minnows did to them. They were a flying start, they capitalized. Yet the match ended in a tie, but eventually the US batters just trumped the big guns of Pakistan, and that's where the message. I mean, Indian batters should look at that. And in the past as well, a lot was being talked about. Remember, during the 2023 World Cup match between India and Pakistan in Ahmedabad, I was there, and the talk was how are we going to counter the likes of Shaheen Shah Afridi, but we dealt them pretty well, and that's how I expect the Indian batters to take up this challenge. Yes, in the past we've seen them struggling, especially during the T20 World Cup, the back-to-back T20 World Cups, the last two T20 World Cups, we saw them struggle, especially in the Melbourne match where we were down in no and with a little much runs on the board. But eventually, India ended up winning that match. So somebody like a Virat Kohli or a Rohit Sharma will have to bring their A game. We saw what happened in the Ahmedabad, the Narendra Modi Stadium. Rohit played a very captain's knock, a beautiful knock, constructed the innings literally very well in a low-scoring game. So the matchups, the past experiences, they are all being sidelined when India and Pakistan are on the pitch. But fortune favors the brave, as they say.
We hope to see that. Sauradeep, I want to know your opinion. How important is it going to be for India if suppose they are made to bat first? Is it going to be equal sort of level playing field for both the teams? Because India, as we can make out from what Avinash is saying, is on a higher pedestal. So how do you see that when India bat first and then they're defending it? I mean, they're going to be. I mean, how do you see that challenge coming in front of India? India were bat first in this game.
I think the match will be decided in the first 6 overs of that. If the batters of us like Rohit Sharma and the others play aggressive cricket in the power play, I think because we have seen that this Pakistan team, yeah, they have big names, they have decent bowlers, but they jitter at the time of when they need, because we saw in the super over in the last match, because they're all over the place bowling wides, giving away extra runs. So if we start aggressively, especially with the likes of Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, and if Rishabh Pant comes in, if we lose the wicket, and if we start aggressively, I think we can put the Pakistan bowlers under pressure, and from then on there we can be in the driver's seat, because we know it is the pitch has been doing a bit. We have seen this double pitch. People have been criticizing all these things, but if we bat, and suppose if we lose the toss and bat, and if we start well, give them some lusty blows, fours or sixes in the first 2 3 overs, get like somewhere like 40 for nil or 30 for nil after the first 3 or 4 overs, then the pressure will be right back on Pakistan, and we can capitalize from there, because we have what we have seen in the last couple of months or so, or historically with this Pakistan team, that is that they crumble under pressure. So even if we bat first and if we can put the pressure on them, I think they're gonna have some difficulties, and we can have real leeway and advantage from there on. I think it will be very important that we get a good start in the power play, even if we bat first.
Well, we need to actually need to be ultra aggressive. That's how I would love to see Indian team coming out all guns blazing. Shakya, uh, so what's plan on Sunday? I mean, it's of course we are thinking about, we are watching other matches, we're following them. Saturday also we have few matches today also lined up, but we are all eyes are on that important game. And how do you see that challenge coming along for India? How tense India would be? They would be sort of wary about the fact that Pakistan would come hard at them. Uh, the bowlers, the Mohammad Amids and company. I mean, how do you see that challenge coming up for the Indian batters?
I think after losing the game against USA and the fact that USA has already won 2 matches against Canada and Pakistan themselves, this is a must-win match for Pakistan, and they've not been. It's an unfamiliar situation for them. They would have ideally wanted to have won the USA match, but they're really under pressure now. But just a thought on the previous matches that we've had with Pakistan and this match. Uh, we played them in Dubai in 21, and Dubai
Mm.
is like a virtual home ground for Pakistan, because Pakistan was for a long time playing their matches in the UAE. And then Melbourne is historically known to be a seamer friendly wicket. So
Okay.
India lost a lot of quick wickets had lost a lot of wickets in the power play in that particular game that happened a couple of years ago, and Virat Kohli played that outstanding innings to win them a match which seemed very difficult at one point of time. This seems to be a different pitch, and of course, yesterday the Canada Ireland match was played in New York, and it shaped up better. Uh, Obviously, neither Canada nor Ireland have the quality that bigger sides like India and Pakistan possess, but still the match was better. There was like, if I'm correct, it was 128 which was made, and they could have made more runs than that. But it was it's so tomorrow's game would be would be a let's see how tomorrow's game goes. It's going to be played as a day match. An India Pakistan match being played as a day match is also another unfamiliar thing, because and but I think that will make a difference. I think in under floodlights, it's one of the things people talk about playing matches under floodlights is that the ball moves a bit under the lights. Whereas from what we've seen on this pitch, it's more the pitch which is going to do the work for the bowlers. So maybe the fact that it's a day match might actually work to India's advantage. Uh, playing under floodlights was something which would have been more beneficial towards the kind of bowlers Pakistan has. Uh, but yeah, I mean, and tomorrow's a big day on the whole. There is the swearing-in ceremony, which is happening at 7:15, and there's also the French Open final. So big day for all sports. But I'm sure everyone's eyes are glued on the India-Pakistan match, and I think that's what we should all want. And but yeah, it's a big day
And
on the whole.
I think everyone will, yeah, and I think Indian fans especially would be hoping that India ends up winning the toss, so that even if the crucial 30-40 minutes of the game time is, I mean, it goes into watching the swearing in ceremony, they will make up because they want the likes of Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma to dominate the Pakistani bowlers. Yes, India's strength in the past, if you look at against Pakistan, is
Mm.
their bowling, and I think the deciding factor for India tomorrow also is going to be the way they bowl and how our bowlers perform against the Pakistani batting lineup. Because as Shakya just mentioned, they are going to be under a lot of pressure because it's a do or die game for them. They are already, I mean, facing stiff challenge from US. If one match US ends up winning, they have a big chance of qualifying to the Super 8. So yes, India, being India, they have been a clinical side, but Pakistan is a vitriolic side. And with the teams like Pakistan, you never really know.
Absolutely. Sauradeep, before I come to you, I want to know from Avinash. I mean, what is happening to this World Cup? All the lesser known teams are winning. Bangladesh won,
Yeah,
Canada won, US won. I mean, so people were talking about that this World Cup we have too many teams and too many minors coming and doing their bit. But is it good? I mean, Chakya yesterday made a very pertinent point. It's good for the fact that smaller teams are winning. It can go far and wide cricket in that way. But your thoughts on that, Avinash?
of course, it's always good for the game to have many teams, and also the fact that not many teams have played against these oppositions. So
Hmm.
preparing a game plan also becomes crucial, vital for the team management. Of There's no matchup, they don't have much of history riding into the game. There's no head-to-head records, and also the team management is not that aware. So and this is the beauty. I mean, yesterday, what Shakya was trying to say, he was drawing parallels between football and cricket, and this is the beauty of FIFA World Cup, where no lesser known team comes up, and it not just beats a giant, but also ends up progressing to the next stages. And something similar should be happening to cricket every now and then in every competition. The We've already seen the ODI format. World Cup has been restricted to 10 teams in the tournament. And sometimes it gets boring. Yeah, the double round robin format or the single round robin format, whatever we call these at times, because people expect something out of it. But when something unexpected happens, the sport just grows. Let's just speak about the action which is happening on social media. Suddenly,
Yeah.
the entire US has woken up and they are inquiring about the game of cricket. We've seen so many people posting on X. That suddenly their friends are asking what this game of cricket is all about. Just help me understand, because what is if you're drawing parallels between football and cricket, how big is it an upset that USA staged against Pakistan? So it's all good for the game. ICC, I think they would have not asked for a better start to the tournament, because people are actually glued to the televisions or mobile screens. So yes, the more the merrier, and uh, I hope in the next 10 years or 12 years down the line, I see at least 40 teams competing in a T20 World Cup. And the best teams, I mean, it is a month long, maybe more, 2 months long tournament happening, where the entire world gets a representation.
All right. Sauradeep, I mean, 2021, Australia were the champions, 22, England. So both these teams are playing tonight. It's a mini Ashes kind of a thing. I think in Barbados they're playing that game. So
Yes,
we'll
Barbados.
see a good,
Yes,
take a good look at how these two teams have shaped up also, because it's not about India Pakistan. We are a little obsessed. What is happening in India Pakistan? There are other teams also doing well. So how do you see this? Both these defending. I mean, one is a defending champion. One is the previously they won that World Cup. Australia. They also won it for the first time. They have that combination. I mean, just imagine a player like Steve Smith doesn't find a place in the team. So you can imagine the kind of standards they have set. But how do you see these two teams coming into this World Cup? England defending champion. We know what they have. They have the depth, the all-round ability. So these two teams, of course, we are worried about Pakistan. How do you see these two teams as opposition for India in days to come?
I think both teams are excellent because we have seen the revolution of English cricket in the last few years, especially in the
Yeah.
T20 format. They are excellent players, match winners in their team. And Australia, as we know, that they have the champion DNA inside them. Whether they struggle, they may struggle in one or two, but they at the crunch time they always come back. And we saw it in the World Cup 2023. Two losses in the start, and then they came back so well. So I think both of them will be a huge challenge. I still believe that Australia may be just a bit bigger challenge for India when
All
it
right.
comes to the current situations, because they do have the winning mentality. But we can't forget that when the last time the World Cup T20 World was played in West Indies, England were the champions back in 2010, if I'm not wrong. So both the teams, they have excellent individual players, match winners in their team, but I still reckon that Australia do have the slighter advantage because of their pace attack. They have some excellent pacers like Mitchell Stark, Pat Cummins, and also the batters who are very much quality as well. So I do believe Australia will be a bigger challenge for India compared to England. But make no mistake, England can be a threat as well, for sure.
All right. We'll see that. Time I can only say that. But we're going to be relieved after tomorrow, I guess. After the big game gets over, get the monkey off your back. That's what they say. India Pakistan match. Shakya, the next big challenge after India would be the other teams, and I think US is also quite a challenge for us. The way they are playing, they have 2 wins. Looking at this group,
Yeah.
we talk about group of death and all that. I think the death group of death has already happened in the India Pakistan group. Your thoughts on this? How Pakistan can qualify? Suppose India lose to Pakistan, then even Stevens. I mean, how do you do it? I mean, just explain to me how things can move forward for the Pakistan and India for the next stages.
Yeah, so if Pakistan beats India, I think it evens things up for both sides. Though India
Yeah,
will have a bit of an edge because their coming games are would be a little bit easier. For Pakistan, if they lose tomorrow, it's tough because I think USA, if USA beats Ireland, and assuming they don't beat India, if they beat Ireland, USA qualifies irrespective of whether, well, not irrespective. If Pakistan loses tomorrow and USA beats Ireland, USA will qualify. Pakistan doesn't have a chance. And the groups for the next stage have already been made. India is number one in their group, so they will their group for the next stage will have Australia scheduled to have Australia, New Zealand, and Sri Lanka. So Australia will probably go through. Now New Zealand and Sri Lanka are in a bit of a sticky situation right now. Sri Lanka has lost to Bangladesh, and New Zealand lost to Afghanistan. Afghanistan's not a side that can be taken lightly, and Bangladesh also is an improving side. So India, even if the results as they have happened so far in the tournament stick, we are as likely to face Bangladesh and Afghanistan in the next round as we are to have faced New Zealand and Sri Lanka as was originally envisaged. And Afghanistan, they played really really well today. I watched little bits of the match, and I mean the way they batted, especially Gurbaz and the bowlers, the Fazal Haq Faruqi and Rashid Khan. They're not going to be easy for any team. I think they could be a threat even for the hosts, West Indies, who are in the same group as them. And even in the next phase, I mean, if Afghanistan goes through, they could play India, they could play Australia, assuming Australia qualifies. And they have unfinished business with Australia because they should have they were all over them in the 50 over World Cup match when Glenn Maxwell played probably the greatest innings ever played in the history of ODI cricket. So I think Afghanistan, you having a conversation about minnows again. Afghanistan, they are now a test playing nation. They are a top 10 country, but they are they're still not yet reached that tag of an established side. And if they end up doing something special in this tournament, it'll be brilliant for them. But at the moment, the first phase is still going on, so we don't know who's qualifying as yet. But whoever we face, Afghanistan or New Zealand in the next round, they'll both be tough. But it looks Afghanistan has given themselves a good chance of going through the second round and India facing them.
in fact, you have raised a wonderful point about Afghanistan being a force to reckon with. We have seen it in the last Asia Cup. We've seen them in the World Cup. They're really improving with every passing day. Avinash, is India Pakistan battle is going to be like India Pak battle? Is it like Pakistan will be replaced by Afghanistan in days to come? Do you see that happening? Kind of consistency they are showing as a team. Uh, your thoughts?
I think it's still a distant thing because we should not forget the fact that Afghanistan hardly plays any cricket at home. So they don't have a home
Right.
venue. I mean, they are either reliant on India or
Mm,
UAE, which is
mm,
a neutral venue where they end up playing their home matches. So for the development of a team as a whole, Dada, it is very important for it to be hosted in the host nation, played in the in front of the home crowd. A lot many youngsters need to be inspired, so they end up dreaming to become the next Rashid Khans, the next Fazal Ak Faruqis or Rahmanullah Gurbaz or Mohammad Navees for that matter, which
really?
is not happening in Pakistan as in Afghanistan. They are still struggling. Yes, the players who all are representing the nation, they are doing tremendously well because the rise of T20 leagues, the franchise-based T20 model has did a word of good to these nations because the players are consistently playing. They are traveling. They are already across the globe. They are there and gaining a lot of experience. But does that experience percolate to the grassroots level? I doubt because these are the players who are professionally there, but when the entire system comes up, what's the status of Afghanistan's cricket in the schools? What the culture over there? How the college system is coming up? So all that also needs to be done for us, a nation, a country to progress as a cricketing powerhouse, which has been there in the Pakistani system, which is not there in Afghanistan. So I don't think Afghanistan replacing Pakistan in terms of the rivalry factor as far as
All right.
India and Pakistan are concerned. In fact, over the years we've been lucky that India has ended up winning the matches against Bangladesh. But if you look at the last two, three World Cups, even the last T20 World Cup, Afghanistan were off to a flying start. Liton Das, he had given a flying start to the team, and they were cruising in the run chase. If not for that rain and interruption, I think the momentum just shifted into the Indian dressing room right after the match was resumed. So sometimes, and even in the 2016 T20 World Cup, let's remember, get refresh our memories. Had it not been to the brilliance of MS Dhoni, that we would have ended up losing the match at M Chennaswamy against the Bangladesh team. So this team is progressing, graduating gradually on a better side. We've seen them
Yeah.
become the under 19 champions as well. So I think Pakistan, India, it's not just about the kind of cricket these two teams played. It's also about the nation, the two countries, the dynamics between two countries also play a lot of role when it comes to the high profile India Pakistan matches. I still believe an India England and an India Australia match in a World Cup is far much competitive than the India Pakistan matches.
All right. Very pertinent point. The point you mentioned about how Pakistan struggled also. They didn't have cricket at home for such a long time. And
Yeah.
we saw they were trying foul also, and Red really contributed a lot. Sharadeep, I want to know from you, Indian team playing against Pakistan. Uh, I mean, last time we had seen the likes of Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma playing a T20 World Cup match against them. You see, this is going to be their last. How do you see that happening for them?
I think surely it is going to be the last because the way the thing has been going on for the past few months, you can kind of say that, kind of presume that this is going to be their last World Cup because Rohit
Yeah.
is, I think, 37, Virat is 35, and it is, and I think the next T20 World Cup is maybe in 2026. So I don't see them playing again after this World Cup. So it is going to be their last for sure, and they would be, as it is going to be their swan song. I think both of them would be desperate to end up on a winning note. So that makes it a bit of an onus for the entire team to perform well because we have seen in the 2021 was a disaster. 2022 we went to the semi-finals and then got ousted by England. But as this is presumably, we can just expect that this is going to be the last of this Rohit and Virat. I think the entire team must know, and they will be playing according to that, and they will be hoping to lift it at the end of the tournament. That's for sure.
I hope that happens. Any which ways, we are waiting for it for last 11 years. Sauradeep, you would be aware of it. Eden Gardens also shaping up quite well for the 2026 T20 World Cup, which is going to be held in India. So hopefully, Eden Gardens will get those big matches, semi-finals, and if not finals, I don't know. But anything could happen. But they're increasing the capacity of that ground. Are you aware of it? It's something of that sort
No,
happening.
actually, I was not. Actually, I was not.
Okay. So they are. I mean,
Indranil,
they are. Yeah. Go ahead,
no, no.
please.
Since you're talking about Rohit and Virat and their possible last
Okay.
appearance against Pakistan, I think Rohit,
Hmm.
both these men owe a lot of their legacy towards past matches against Pakistan. If you remember, Rohit in his very first outing in a major international tournament in the 2007 World T20, his
Hmm.
30 of 16 in the final
Hmm.
was extremely integral to India winning that match and being crowned champions. And
All
uh,
right.
and though not done that well in the T20 World Cup against Pakistan, I would say Virat has done better than him, better than Rohit when it comes to a T20 World Cup. But Rohit's record in the ODI World Cup against Pakistan is extremely good. And yeah, I mean, both these players deserve a. I hope both these greats get a good send off. Probably their last ever match against Pakistan as well in the T20 World Cup. But again, the way the pitches are playing out in this tournament, and we don't know that we have India hasn't played the West Indies leg, but we are seeing some other matches going on in the West Indies leg. It could prove to be a master stroke to pick both these two men, because maybe we are not expecting 180 or even plus pitches in this tournament. If they are 160, 170 type pitches, then Rohit and Virat are absolutely fine for those pitches. I mean, Virat would have done well on a 180 plus pitch as well, but Rohit's technique and everything will be extremely handy if we have low scoring pitches. And of course, we know how well he plays spin. So I think let's hope for the best. Let's hope for the best. And it seems if these are slower pitches, it seems that it could be a master stroke picking both of these two men.
All right. We'll wait and watch how things happen there. But pitch battle, Avinash, we talked about yesterday's pitch in New York, Canada versus Ireland. I thought it was playing a little better. We had I mean, the problem remains. It's still seeming. It's going up and down. So how do you see? Do you see BCCI may have done something to the told of ICC that this is what you're doing for India Pakistan game? What are you up to? Whose idea was it to take it to New York and things like that? This is a serious game. In they're playing in Barbados and where all. I mean, the other leg matches are happening there. What was the point of taking it to America? So your thoughts on how pitch behaved yesterday? Are you happy with it? Is it getting better because more matches you play, the pitch will get the undulated part will be taken care of. But how do you see that happening tomorrow? And what was your impression about after watching the Ireland Canada game?
Dada, it's quite evident that BCCI has definitely grilled ICC for laying out the strip
Great,
that
I
we
like that
see.
word.
There's no doubt about that, because you see the cloud BCCI has when it comes to the on the ICC podium. They must have definitely pulled some strings. Not just India. They would have asked their allies, likes of Zimbabwe, the likes of England for that matter, even New Zealand, and uh, all these nations. The BCCI over the years has had a very cordial relationship with the lesser known boards, and together they would have definitely put some pressure on the ICC. And the damage control email from the ICC I mean, it's because of the BCCI's pressure on the ICC. We saw them coming up with that release, because how often do you see ICC coming with a clarification? I have not seen in the last 2 to 3 World Cups that I have covered. Never seen ICC coming up and defending the pitch and making some clarifications that eventually it will get better. We are trying our best. The groundsmen are doing their best. But the very fact that they've admitted there's a problem in the pitch tells that the BCCI is not happy. And BCCI or PCB for that matter must have spoken to the ICC that hey, the pitch is doing a lot. It's going to be very. I mean, it might end up injuring our key players. The bowlers are going can be injured. The batters, of course, they have there's the damage still persists, the danger still persists. And one of my colleagues in the office, he just made a very valid point, saying if a ball hits the helmet of the batter, they don't take the batter's word. They call up a physio who comes up, inspects whether there's actually a concussion or not. And here we are, where the ICC is at fault for laying out a pitch which is actually dangerous for the players, and still it wants them to play on those which on that pitch, knowing that it might end up injuring them. Remember the fact that the Pakistani pace battery and even the Indian pace battery has some bowlers who can bowl in excess of 140. We have a Bumrah who can easily touch 148, 140 on his day. And the Pakistani bowling lineup, if you look at them, every bowler is capable of clicking 150. And if a ball on this undulated, uneven bounce pitch is bowled at 150 clicks per hour, you never know what will happen. And if an injury occurs, who's going to take the blame for that? So obviously, BCCI has raised its concerns. It's not happy, and because of the fact that the when India, whenever it hosts any tournament at home, the teams like and the experts from the West and even from the Australia, the uh, they always try finding fault at the Indian pitches, which are never dangerous,
Yes,
but
yes.
they are competitive of sorts, keeping the subcontinental style of play into consideration. But yet, the English, the Aussies, even the South Africans, for that matter, they always seem to have a problem. But here it is, there's a pitch which is actually dangerous for the game, for the players, and there's hardly any word. I mean, we've not heard the Aussies speaking uttering a single word. The English, remember the Dharamshala pitch, Dada? A lot was being talked about. This is a dangerous one. The
Yeah.
outfield is bad, but not a single Aussie media and the English media has complained about or talked about the New York pitch. So that the double standards still persist within the ICC, within the cricketing spectrum, and the media. And when India and Pakistan seem to raise it, they always try to brush it under the carpet.
They do actually. Sarodeep, when we talk about this kind of pitches, unfit pitches, if it was in Asia, I think the match would have been called up. I'm sure about it. But your thoughts about other teams? We know Pakistan, India. Will discuss at length. We have, on the match preview. I mean, today we are doing sort of giving an overlook of all the teams, what we're seeing them, how we're seeing them. How do you look at South Africa as a team? I mean, they have a lot of good players. We know we've seen them in action during IPL. Your thoughts on how South Africa is shaping up, because they're playing against the Netherlands today. So how do you see that team coming up?
You can see South Africa they always have had a great squad, great players, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, they're just one match away from a disaster. We have seen that over the years. Every time in the ICC tournaments, they just look. If you remember that in the 2007 World Cup, T20 World Cup, they just lost one match that was against India, which was very crucial for us to qualify for the semi-final as well. In the match that India scored a very small amount of run and then defended it perfectly. Dinesh Karthik took that excellent catch on the left hand side. So they just lost one match and then they were eliminated. So they are just like the ultimate, with the panoti luck, if we say, in T20 World Cups or ICC events. And but yeah, they do have a great squad this time again. I won't say they have an extremely talented squad, but they do have players who can be the match winners. We Kagi Surabada with the ball, even the likes of Keshav Maharaj, Tabrate Samsi. In the batting, they have like Klaasen, Markram. They do have a decent squad, but you never know with the South Africa side. But I would say that comparing to the South African, if you compare with Afghanistan, I will say Afghanistan do have a better chance of doing better than South Africa in this tournament because they do have a lot more holistic score, because and they do have players who can come up and perform at the crunch time, but we haven't seen from the South African players over the years, and I really doubt. I will be very happy if I'm proved wrong, if they really do well, because the world wants South Africa to do well because they have been good, one of the best peak players, very well behaved, very good players, but they haven't got anything in their trophy cabinet in terms of ICC trophies so far. But I really doubt that South Africa will be, going all the way. But yeah, I expect them to
And
do
let
well.
them let them
But
and let them build a good team. We'll wait for them because this time it's going to be ours. Shakya, your closing thoughts? The
Yeah,
top
so
four.
really,
Too early to talk about
a
it,
very
but
good point made. Yeah, I'm
I
saying
saw
very good
the
point made
yes,
by Shauradeep. Yeah,
yeah.
about Afghanistan having a more holistic side, and actually with South Africa. No, just generally a general point about all teams. I think everyone was saying that there is no place for an anchor in T20 cricket, but in this so far, whatever we've seen in this World Cup, you probably do need an anchor, and I think South Africa's team does
Because you
not
will
have.
show, yeah.
The South African team may be lacking an anchor kind of a batter in their top five,
Hmm.
and Afghanistan actually has greater depth, has a more holistic side with them. So even Australia, for that matter, I think Australia also I think lacks an anchor in their top five. They've not picked Steve Smith. I don't know how Steve Smith makes it into the T20 side, uh, this thing. But I actually won't be surprised if Afghanistan springs a surprise. They've already beaten New Zealand today, and let's see how they go. But yeah, let's see how the tournament builds up. I think we'll get to know in the USA and in the West Indies leg if India has chosen the right set of players for this tournament. And I think it's still open. I think it's early days, but it's still open. I think tomorrow's match against Pakistan, the whole country's got its eyes on it, but also from the perspective of qualification for the further stage and how we are placed, I think it's an important match as well.
No, but I mean, you talk about not having an anchor. I think pitch batter will always have an anchor, be it Avinash or Indranil Basu or Sauradeep, anyone. I mean, we have several anchors so on this show. But thanks a lot, gentlemen. We hope that we get a good start tomorrow, and our eyes are always on Team India, how they fare. We want them to win, and we want to do that, in a systematic way. They've been going really strong. We've seen them in league matches. They've been absolutely uh, quite. Their approach has been quite clear. I mean, they are very much performance oriented. They know what they're doing. They have a clear idea. But when it comes to the knockout matches, that's where our problem lies. Thanks, Avinash, Sauradeep, Shakya for coming on. Pitch battle. Pitch battle is going to continue because World Cup has just gone. I mean, a lot of drama is yet to be unfolded, and we'll wait for it. We'll be back tomorrow. Please take care of yourself and enjoy T20 World Cup. Thanks for watching.